Before the alarm clock, before the rush of the day, before the noise of the world has even begun, there is a sacred hour that holds unimaginable power. The stillness of the morning, the softness of the dawn, the quiet rising of light, these are not ordinary moments, they are invitations. When we talk about aligning your wake, uptime with your circadian rhythm, we are talking about something far deeper than just a lifestyle hack or a motivational trick. This is about stepping into the rhythm that the Creator himself has written into your body. A divine timetable that governs your energy, your focus, and your very ability to thrive. Every one of us carries within us a clock, not a mechanical one that ticks on our wrist, but a biological clock placed into the brain, a master regulator that keeps the body in sync with the rising and the setting of the sun. To fight this clock is to fight the order of nature, and when we fight that order, we lose strength, we lose clarity, and we lose the vitality that is meant to power us through each day. Think about how the sun rises faithfully every morning without fail, scattering the darkness, breaking the silence of night, declaring to the world that light has conquered again. That same signal, that same pattern is what your body waits for, what your inner systems expect to witness, because they were designed to run in harmony with it. When you learn to wake up with the rising sun, when you align your breath and your steps with that sacred order, you no longer wrestle with your alarm clock. Instead, you awaken because your body has been prepared, your mind has been guided, and your spirit feels the pull of the dawn. Your circadian rhythm is like the unseen conductor of an orchestra, lifting its hands to bring each section of your being into harmony. Hormones, neurotransmitters, body temperature, heart rate, alertness. All of these rise and fall in precise cycles, and those cycles are tuned to light and darkness. When you ignore that pattern and sleep late, exposing yourself to screens long past midnight, you are not just staying awake, you are silencing the conductor, throwing the orchestra into chaos. That is why waking at 6 a.m. feels painful, why it feels unnatural, because the instruments of your body are out of tune, playing at the wrong time. But when you respect that rhythm, when you allow morning light to strike your eyes, when you rest in the dark without disruption, you return to balance. You discover that your body was never your enemy. It was always waiting to guide you, to carry you with strength into the morning hours. The spiritual power of rising with the dawn has been known for centuries. Sacred texts across cultures speak of the blessing of the early morning, of the peace, the clarity, the divine presence that is most accessible before the noise of the world begins. When you rise with the natural order, you rise with a universe that is already singing. You rise with the birds, with the wind, with the hum of creation as it greets the sun. Your nervous system feels it, your hormones feel it, your spirit feels it. This is not merely science, this is alignment with divine wisdom. The body's rhythm is not an accident, it is a message, a guidance system woven into your flesh, reminding you that you are not separate from creation but a part of it. Consider how you feel when you wake at noon, groggy, heavy, dragging yourself through the day as though you are forever behind. Now compare that to the feeling of stepping into the morning air at 6 a.m. when the world is quiet but full of promise, when the air is cool and the light is soft and your mind feels uncluttered. That difference is not just psychological, it is biological, spiritual, and powerful. It is the fruit of living in rhythm with the design that was always meant for you. And when you sustain this alignment, when you let it become your daily habit, you will find that your energy stretches further, your focus sharpens, and your mood steadies. What once felt like punishment, waking early, becomes a gift, a privilege, a chance to live closer to the way you were designed. Do not underestimate the power of this alignment. To wake in harmony with your circadian rhythm is to rise with power already within you, not borrowed from caffeine, not stolen from adrenaline, but drawn from the deep well of order and balance. This is why some people, once they master this rhythm, no longer struggle with fatigue, no longer battle against mornings, but move with grace into the day. It is not because they are more disciplined or stronger willed. It is because they have unlocked a law of nature, a law written into their body. They have stopped resisting and started surrendering, and in that surrender, they find strength. When you see the sun as a signal rather than just light in the sky, when you see your sleep as an act of alignment rather than just rest, you begin to treat each morning not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. Every 6 a.m. wake up becomes a reminder that you are in rhythm with something greater than yourself, something vast, eternal, and unshakable. Your body begins to trust the pattern, your mind begins to anticipate the morning, and your spirit begins to rise with a sense of purpose that no alarm clock can manufacture. You no longer wake up to an obligation, you wake up to a calling, and that calling feels effortless because it is not forced, it is natural, it is holy. Using morning sunlight to trigger cortisol release and set your internal clock is not just a matter of science, it is a matter of divine design. When the sun breaks through the horizon and its rays touch your eyes, something profound happens within your body. The light is not only seen, it is received by special cells deep in the eyes that send signals to the brain, awakening your internal rhythms, commanding your hormones to rise, and giving your body the strength to face the day. This is not random, this is intentional. The morning light was placed as a beacon to stir your soul, to remind you that darkness is not permanent, that new beginnings are written into the fabric of creation. Each sunrise carries the message that life renews itself, and your body has been created to answer that call with energy, clarity, and alertness. The release of cortisol at dawn is not the stress hormone that so many fear, but the morning messenger that sets your day in motion. It is the surge that raises your blood pressure to healthy levels, that primes your brain for focus, that prepares your muscles for movement. Without it, you stumble, you linger in sleep inertia, you wander through the morning as though lost. But when that light strikes at the right moment, when you honor the rising of the sun with your own rising, you give permission for your body's clock to reset, to synchronize, to become one with the natural order. It is as though heaven itself is calling out, awake, for the day has begun, and your biology answers with joy, with readiness, with power. Think of how creation itself responds to the sunrise. The birds lift their voices, the flowers open, the air shifts, the world awakens. None of them struggle, none of them resist, for they are in perfect obedience to the rhythm of light. Yet humanity, with all its knowledge, often rebels against this order, closing the curtains, staring into blue screens long past midnight, and then wondering why mornings feel heavy and painful. But those who step outside at dawn, those who lift their eyes to the sky and allow the sunlight to wash over them, they feel it, an almost sacred energy moving through their body. They feel the heaviness lift. They feel clarity sharpen. They feel the alignment that comes when one walks in harmony with creation's design. This practice is not merely for physical health. It is a spiritual act of submission and gratitude. To let the light in is to acknowledge that you did not create this rhythm. You did not engineer this system. You were gifted it. Every cell in your body has its own clock, and all of them look to the light to know when to rise and when to rest. When you stand in the morning sun, you are not just resetting your biology, you are reminding yourself that your life is part of a larger order, that your strength is connected to something eternal. The world may speak of hustle and productivity, but the truth is that your deepest energy comes when you align with the wisdom that has been written into every sunrise since the beginning of time. When you miss this light, when you sleep through the dawn, your cortisol rhythm drifts, your energy scatters, your mind fogs. You try to catch up with coffee, with stimulants, with noise, but it never feels the same because you are chasing what was freely offered to you in the first moments of the morning. To stand in the light is to receive a gift of order, a gift of alignment, a gift of strength that no substitute can provide. This is why so many who begin to greet the morning sun find their days transformed, their sleep improved, their focus sharpened. It is not magic, it is obedience to design, and in that obedience comes freedom. Imagine starting your day not with dread, but with fire in your spirit, not because you forced yourself, but because the light itself awakened you. This is the effortless wake up so many long for, the ability to rise with energy already flowing, with clarity already present. It is not discipline alone that gives this, it is understanding the divine order of light and responding to it. When the rays of the sun hit your eyes at dawn, it is not just photons meeting biology, it is creation meeting creation. It is a reminder that you were built to rise with the sun, to live in harmony with the rhythm that sustains all life. And when you embrace this, when you commit to stepping into the light each morning, you discover that waking up early is not a struggle, but a gift. Not a burden, but a blessing. Not forced, but effortless, because your body, your mind, and your spirit are all answering the same call, the call of the morning light. Avoiding late night artificial light to prevent melatonin disruption and sleep inertia is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your mornings, because light is not just illumination, it is instruction. Every time light touches your eyes, it speaks directly to the master clock within your brain, telling your body when to be alert and when to rest. But the problem comes when, long after the sun has set, we flood our eyes with the glow of phones, televisions, and lamps, tricking the brain into believing that the day has not ended. What was meant to be a time of restoration, a time of surrender to sleep, is instead filled with stimulation, and the rhythm of the body begins to stumble. The hormone melatonin, designed to rise like a soft tide as the darkness deepens, is suppressed, delayed, or silenced, and without it, the body does not know how to fully rest. You may close your eyes, you may lie in bed, but your system lingers in confusion, half awake, half asleep, robbed of the deep restoration that makes waking at dawn effortless. Think of melatonin as a sacred messenger of the night. It tells your cells that darkness has arrived, that the time of renewal has begun. It prepares the body to heal, the brain to cleanse, the soul to enter that stillness where memories are strengthened and energy is restored. To block this messenger with artificial light is to turn away from a gift freely given, a gift that requires no effort on your part other than allowing the night to be night. Yet how often do we resist, staring into screens that pierce the eyes with blue light, bathing in false suns long after the true one is set? And then we wonder why waking feels like a battle, why mornings are heavy and lifeless. It is because the night was not honored, the darkness was not respected, and the rhythm was not obeyed. All creation responds to the setting of the sun. The birds quiet themselves, the flowers close, the world lowers its voice. It is only humanity that insists on burning light into the hours of night. stretching the day beyond its limits, ignoring the order that was placed into existence from the beginning. And this disobedience has a price. Sleep inertia, the heavy fog upon waking, the dragging of limbs, the mind that feels chained. This is the cost of disrupting the night. It is not weakness, it is not laziness, it is the natural response of a body deprived of its rightful restoration. But when you allow melatonin to rise as it was meant to, when you dim the lights, set down the devices, and step into the quiet of night, you prepare yourself for a morning that feels light, effortless, and full of power. There is a deep spiritual truth here as well. Darkness was not created to be feared, but to be embraced as the necessary counterpart to light. Just as the earth requires seasons, your body requires cycles. To deny yourself darkness is to deny yourself balance, to demand unending day, unceasing activity, constant noise. But the Creator in His wisdom established evening and morning as the rhythm of life, teaching us that rest is holy, that renewal is sacred, that silence is necessary. Artificial light tempts us to rebel against this order, to believe we can stretch the boundaries, to live as though the night has no claim on us. Yet in surrendering to true darkness, in allowing melatonin to flow, you are not losing time, you are investing in strength, clarity, and vitality that will carry into the morning. Consider how different your mornings feel when you honor the night. When you turn off the glowing screens, when you let your home grow dim with the setting sun, when you allow your body to step into the rhythm of creation, you wake not in resistance, but in readiness. The heaviness that once chained you to your bed lifts, the fog that once clouded your mind clears, and you rise with energy that feels natural, effortless, and even joyful. It is not willpower that wakes you, it is alignment. It is obedience to the law written into your biology. The absence of light at night is as essential to your morning energy as the presence of light at dawn. Without one, the other cannot flourish. The beauty of this practice is its simplicity. You do not need complicated systems or endless motivation to make mornings easier. You simply need to honor the darkness when it arrives. Allow the night to be night. Let your body hear the signal it has been waiting for. Protect the sacred messenger, melatonin, from the assault of false light. In doing so, you will find that sleep becomes deeper, restoration becomes fuller, and waking at 6 a.m. becomes not a struggle against your own nature, but a natural unfolding of it. What once felt like an impossible demand becomes a blessing because you are no longer fighting your biology, you are flowing with it. And when you rise in the morning, free of inertia, filled with energy, clear in mind and strong in spirit, you will understand that this was not just about sleep, it was about trust. Trust in the order of creation, trust in the wisdom written into your body, trust that when you honor the cycles of light and dark, you are not losing time, but gaining life. Leveraging temperature changes, cool nights and a slightly warmer morning to signal your body it's time to rise is one of the most overlooked yet powerful ways to awaken with energy, because temperature is not just comfort, it is communication. Your body has been designed with a rhythm so precise that even the slightest shift in temperature is read as a signal, a message, a command. As evening comes, the Creator built into you a natural cooling, a lowering of core body temperature that prepares your nervous system for sleep, telling your muscles to loosen, your mind to release, and your spirit to rest. This cooling is not random. It is divine engineering, a system of grace that ushers you into the night without you even thinking about it. But in the same way, the rise in warmth at dawn serves as a trumpet call to awaken. It is your body's internal fire returning, your metabolism rising, your heart quickening, your brain preparing for light. To ignore this system is to ignore the wisdom written into every fiber of your being. Think about the stillness of a cool night. When your room is cool, your body receives the signal that it is time to slow down. Melatonin rises, heart rate slows, breath deepens, and you are ushered into sleep as though the very air itself is cradling you. But when the room is warm and heavy, sleep is restless, fragmented, shallow, because the signal is confused. Your body longs for coolness as a sign of rest, but you deny it. And then morning comes, and instead of rising easily, you feel chained to the bed, groggy and sluggish. It is because the night never properly prepared you. Your body was not guided into the deep cycles of restoration where true energy is born. But when the cool night is respected, when your room mirrors the design of creation, sleep becomes deep, restorative, and powerful, and your waking becomes light and effortless. Now think about the morning. As the sun rises, the earth warms. This is not coincidence, this is coordination. The increase in light is paired with an increase in temperature, both of them working together to signal your body that the time of rest is over and the time of action has begun. Your core temperature naturally begins to climb, and with it, alertness, energy, and drive. If you step into this warmth through morning sunlight, through movement, through exposure to the air, you strengthen the signal, you amplify the call, you awaken not in resistance, but in flow. But if you remain hidden in darkness, in stale air, in stillness, you silence that signal and mornings feel unnatural, forced, heavy. The difference between struggle and ease is not discipline alone. It is alignment with the design of temperature itself. There is a sacred symbolism in this rhythm. The cooling of night is a reminder of surrender, of humility, of letting go. The warming of morning is a reminder of renewal, of resurrection, of rising again. Just as the earth cycles through seasons, your body cycles through temperatures, carrying the message that endings are not final, that rest prepares the way for power, that darkness always gives way to dawn. To ignore these signals is to close your ears to a sermon preached not in words but in the very air around you. When you align yourself with this rhythm, you are not only obeying biology, you are obeying the wisdom of creation itself. Imagine preparing your room at night with intentional coolness, allowing your body to descend easily into rest, feeling the peace of surrender wash over you as you sink into sleep. And then imagine the morning stepping into warmth, opening a window, letting the sunlight touch your skin, letting the increase in temperature stir your body's fire. You would find that waking is no longer a battle against willpower, but a natural unfolding as though the world itself is pulling you forward. The heaviness lifts, the fog clears, the spirit awakens, not because you forced yourself, but because you cooperated with the law already written into your being. This is why so many ancient traditions valued the coolness of night and the warmth of dawn, why rituals of prayer, meditation, and movement were tied to these hours. They understood that the environment itself is a partner in your rhythm, that temperature and light together form the twin messengers of time. In neglecting this, modern life has lost a great power, but it can be reclaimed simply by honoring what is already present. Cool your nights, welcome the warmth of mornings, and watch as your energy transforms. The truth is that effortless mornings are not the result of tricks or shortcuts. They are the fruit of alignment. When you align your body's temperature cycles with the world around you, you awaken not groggy but alive. Not reluctant but eager, not weak but strong. The night prepares you, the morning awakens you, and the cycle continues like a divine symphony, always steady, always faithful. To live outside of it is chaos, but to live within it is power. And when you rise at 6 a.m. with this alignment, you will feel that power, not as something you strained for, but as something you received, something freely given because you honored the design. Building consistent sleep-wake timing, even on weekends, is not just about habit, it is about covenant with your own body, a sacred rhythm that mirrors the order of creation. From the beginning of time, the pattern of evening and morning has been unbroken, the sun rising and setting in perfect faithfulness, never wavering, never inconsistent. And your body, created in that same order, longs for this faithfulness as well. Within you is a clock, a master rhythm that desires stability, not chaos, that flourishes with consistency, not randomness. Yet so often we live as though we can bend this order at will, staying awake deep into the night, sleeping until noon on weekends, shifting our schedule as though the body has no memory. But the body remembers, the body resists, the body suffers fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, lack of focus. These are not mysteries. They are the consequences of betraying the rhythm that was written into you. When you rise and rest at the same times daily, you send a message of reliability to every cell, every organ, every hormone. You become like the sun itself, faithful, predictable, steady. The body responds with trust, releasing energy at the right time, releasing sleep at the right time, sharpening focus when it is needed, calming you when it is time to rest. But when your schedule is erratic, the body is left in confusion, unsure when to awaken, unsure when to restore, unsure how to serve you. Imagine a choir without a conductor, each singer beginning and ending at random. The result is noise, not music. Yet, when the conductor lifts his hand and each voice enters at the appointed time, the song is powerful, beautiful, unshackable. Your body craves that same order, and the way you grant it is through consistency. Think of how even sacred practices across history have been tied to daily rhythms, prayers at dawn, meditation at sunset, rituals marked by time. There is wisdom in this, for repetition carves truth into the soul. In the same way, waking at the same hour, sleeping at the same hour, even when the world tempts you to shift, engraves stability into your biology. It is not bondage, it is freedom. For when you honor this rhythm, you no longer fight against mornings, you no longer drag yourself into the day with reluctance, but instead you awaken with the momentum of consistency, like a river that flows without ceasing, never questioning its path. The temptation to break this pattern is strong, especially when weekends arrive. The world whispers of late nights, of indulgence, of bending the rules for comfort. Yet comfort gained in the night is misery in the morning because your body does not know the difference between a weekday and a weekend. Its rhythm is daily, eternal, unbroken. To honor it only sometimes is to weaken it. But to honor it always is to strengthen it, to make waking at 6 a.m. effortless, not just once, but every day. And in that steadiness you find power, for your body no longer doubts, your mind no longer resists, your spirit no longer battles, because all of you has agreed upon the time to rise and the time to rest. This consistency is not small, it is holy. Just as the seasons arrive in their order, just as the tides obey their appointed times, your body was created to move in cycles of divine regularity. When you join yourself to that regularity, you live in harmony with creation. You feel it in your bones, in your breath, in your thoughts. You no longer fight your own design, you walk in step with it. And this walking brings peace, clarity, and energy that no alarm clock can manufacture, no stimulant can replace. It is not about forcing yourself into discipline. It is about surrendering to the wisdom that was already written into your flesh. Consistency may feel restrictive at first, but what is truly restrictive is living without it. To wake at different hours, to sleep at random times, is to live in chains of exhaustion, forever playing catch up, never feeling fully alive. But when you give your body the gift of order, when you rise with faithfulness, you will discover a strength you did not know was possible. You will find that mornings are not your enemy, but your ally, that 6 a.m. is not a burden, but a blessing, because your body expects it, your mind anticipates it, your spirit welcomes it. The chaos of inconsistency melts away, and what remains is the joy of alignment, the freedom of rhythm, the effortless power of living in harmony with the unbroken cycle of evening and morning, supporting brain and body alertness with hydration, movement, and deliberate breathing right after waking is like igniting the sacred fire within you, awakening not only your body, but your spirit to step fully into the day. When your eyes open at dawn, your system has just come through hours of fasting and restoration. Your cells are thirsty, your blood is thicker, your brain is longing for oxygen, your muscles are waiting to be stirred. To ignore this moment is to miss the opportunity to partner with the design placed in you, but to honor it is to send a powerful signal to every part of your being that the day has begun and that you are ready to rise with strength. The first act of hydration is more than quenching thirst. It is renewal, it is cleansing, it is giving your body what it quietly longs for after the night. Water flowing into you is like light flowing into the earth at dawn. It awakens, it purifies, it energizes. Your brain, which is mostly water, lights up with clarity as circulation improves, as cells rehydrate, as the fog of sleep is washed away. To drink deeply in the morning is to honor the temple you live in, to remind yourself that before you reach for stimulation, before you consume noise, you give your body the simple gift it was created to need. That first glass of water is not trivial. It is sacred. It is the unlocking of the machinery of life within you. Movement after waking is equally powerful, for the body was not designed for stillness alone. Muscles long to stretch, blood longs to flow, joints long to move. Even the simplest act, stretching arms toward the sky, walking a few steps, breathing deeply, sends waves of energy through the system. It is not about strenuous exercise at this hour. It is about reminding your body that it is alive, that it was made for motion, that it was created to carry you forward with vitality. Movement awakens the nervous system, strengthens circulation, and signals to the brain that the day is not to be wasted in idleness, but embraced in strength. And when you make this a ritual, it becomes more than biology. It becomes worship. It becomes gratitude in action. It becomes the lifting of your whole being into readiness. Then comes the breath. Breath is life itself, the bridge between body and spirit, the rhythm that has sustained you from your first moment on this earth. Yet so often we breathe shallow, unconscious, unaware of the gift flowing through us. But when you wake and breathe deliberately, slow, deep, intentional, you are not just oxygenating your blood, you are commanding your nervous system to awaken, to shift from the stillness of night into the alertness of day. With each inhale, you draw strength. With each exhale, you release heaviness. And in that rhythm, you feel clarity filling your mind, peace strengthening your heart, energy rising in your veins. To begin your day with such breath is to remind yourself of the sacred truth: you are alive, and life itself flows within you. When these three, hydration, movement, and breath, are combined, they form a morning trinity of awakening. Together, they speak to the body, to the brain, to the spirit, declaring that the night has ended, that the day has begun, that you are ready to step into your calling. They do not require great effort. They do not demand hours of your time, but they carry power far greater than their simplicity suggests. They align you with the natural rhythms of energy. They prepare you to meet the demands of the day. They lift you into clarity that no alarm clock or stimulant can provide. There is also a spiritual weight to these practices. Water reminds us of purity and renewal. Movement reminds us of strength and purpose. Breath reminds us of the very spirit that sustains our being. To begin your day with them is to begin with reverence, to acknowledge that your body is not random but intentional, not mechanical but sacred. It is to honor the gift of life by nurturing it, to treat the morning not as an obstacle but as an offering. Each sip, each stretch, each breath becomes a prayer of readiness, a declaration that you will rise in alignment with the order written into you. And when you make this your daily habit, you will find that mornings lose their heaviness. The grogginess that once chained you is broken. The fog that once clouded your mind is lifted. The reluctance that once held you fades away. You wake with purpose. You rise with strength. You breathe with clarity, not because you forced yourself, but because you cooperated with the design. Your body thanks you. Your mind thanks you. Your spirit rejoices. The simple act of hydrating, moving, and breathing has become a doorway to effortless awakening, a pathway to living in the rhythm of creation itself.